Hello, everybody. With this video, we're going to start to lay out the wall cabinets. But before we do that, we need to select and size our windows. In particular, the window above the sink, because that's going to affect the wall cabinet placement. So let's get started with that. So here I am in D2L. I want to go to, of course, weeks 7 and 8. And I want to come down to doors and windows, open that up. Okay. Now, you should have already watched the door types video to help you to understand the different types of doors. And what you need specifically now is to watch, if you haven't already, to watch this video, Windows 101, which deals with window types, so you can choose what window type that you are going to be using. All right, so hopefully that's your first task, okay? So now, what I want to do now is we're going to choose, let's go down here, okay? Let's go down here, okay? As we talk about windows here, let's go here. Window function handout. And let me just put this in presentation mode. Okay, good. Good. Now, when you look at the anatomy of a window in terms of parts, the top of the window is called the head, okay? And the bottom is called the sill. And then you have sides, which are called jambs, all right? So typically in standard construction, okay, the top of the window above the floor, okay, typically is a standard height of 6'8", okay, which, as you see, is the door height. So most residential doors, okay, are 6'8" in height. So when you look at the location of a window against a door, the head height is typically the same. Okay? But we know with today's standards, with higher ceilings and all that, that could be different, okay? But from a standard point of view, the height of windows and the height of doors are typically, the head height, that is typically 6'8", okay? So now, we see what changes relative to a window is the sill elevation. And that's relative to the function of the space, okay? So for now, we're looking here. This is a bedroom situation. The head height is going to be 6'8", but the sill height, okay, it's going to be somewhere, the sill height here, it's going to be somewhere like around 3'9", 3'10", okay? Right, because this is a bedroom situation, and you want more privacy, so you want that sill height to be elevated, okay? When we come over to a kitchen, which is our particular design issue, when you have a window above the countertop, right, the sill elevation has to be above the countertop. And we know the standard counter height from the floor to the top of it is 3 foot or 36 inches for a kitchen. All right. Again, we're starting off with a standard height of head height of 6'8", but this sill height here, okay, is 3 foot, somewhere around 3'4" right, which gets it above the countertop. Makes sense. Because we have to trim that window out sometimes and whatever. So we have this condition because the owner has required that the sink, that it would have a window above it, right? So it has to be along an exterior wall, and of course, there's going to be countertop. So if you look at our condition here, 6'8", okay, and 3'4" sill height means that this window here, right, above our sink needs to maximize at a height of 3'4". Just simply subtracting 3'4" from 6'8" leaves the maximum height of this window. All right, so that's going to help you in choosing the window above the sink, and that's where we're going to start. So the window above our sink, in terms of height, can only maximize that is at a height of 3'4", 3'4" or less. Okay, so let's look at some other areas. We have a dining room area here, and the typical height of a dining room table is 30 inches, right? So starting with a standard sill height of 6'8", then this sill height here is somewhere around 2'8", right? So the sill height kind of matches the height of a standard table. Okay? And then we move to our more public areas, like a living room or a family room, whereas privacy is not a big issue, and usually you want a taller window here, right? Because you may have some vistas, you know, that you want to be able to visualize. Okay, so again, we're starting with a height of 6'8", but our sill height is somewhere around 1'10", allowing us to have a window in a public area like a living room or a family room to be taller. Okay, all right. So that covers the sill height relative to the function of the space. So to get started, I asked you to print out the window and door schedule. Okay, so I've printed it out here. Okay, actually, here we go. This is my window schedule. Okay, this is my door schedule. It seems to be stuck to my paper here. Let me do that. Okay, so here's my window schedule, door schedule. What we're going to start with the window schedule. Okay, and if you don't remember how to get to that, I'm going to show you how to get to that now. So you would be in still doors and windows, all right, and you will scroll down until you get to door and window schedules, right, and that's a PDF here. Okay, so this is where you would print the door and window schedule. Page 1 is the door schedule, page 2 is the window schedule. Good. Okay, so now we have to choose a window manufacturer. Okay, so what I want to, there are tons of window manufacturers, Pella, Anderson, Marvin, okay, but we're going to choose Anderson Windows, Anderson. So we're just going to go to the website. We're going to go to Anderson. Let's see, Anderson Windows, and you see how it's being spelled, ANDERSEN right here, Anderson Windows. So let's go ahead and see what we can find there. Okay, so we have some options here. Okay, I'm looking for the general website. So let's scroll down here. Good. So I'm going to choose this website right here, AndersonWindows.com right here. Okay, that's which one I'm going to choose. Good. Now it gives you the option to start to look at their windows, doors, give you some ideas and inspirational stuff here. Okay, but so let's go to our windows here. Okay, So I've watched the video and I decided that I'm going to use a casement window. Whatever window you choose is your choice, the type, okay? Except I'm probably going to guide you to not choose some types, but well, I'm gonna guide you right now. We are specifying, that is, the window above the sink. So typically the bay window is for like a living area, okay, a public space. So I wouldn't recommend that one, okay? But you have other choices, casements, okay, double hung or single hung, sliding, okay, even this pass through, okay, possibly an awning. Okay, I wouldn't recommend a picture window because the picture window is it's a fixed window, and you learned that from watching the video, because you want to be able to have some ventilation in the kitchen area. So you want a window that's operable. Okay, operable. So I'm just going to choose casements. Okay. I'm going to go back to windows. I'm going to choose casements. Okay. Now, like any manufacturer, you know, they have tons of models, tons of finishes, okay? Here we see Anderson's best-selling casement window, according to this information right here, is the 400 series, okay? So but there are other series here that you could choose, right? But for example purposes, I'm just going to choose the 400 series. So I want to choose view details here. Okay, and then I want to scroll all the way down until I get to technical library. And then I want to view the documents within the library. Okay, good. Then, because I'm trying to size it, I want to choose the sizing documents, right? And then I can filter this out by choosing document type, which I want to choose a standard size chart. And then I want to filter it to the 400 series, okay? And then I want to filter it to casements. All right, so I filtered it, and it's, here it is, here's the title, here's the guide type, okay? And then here's the PDF, right? So I'm going to choose the PDF so I can now look at the sizing chart. Okay, so now it brings up the sizing chart. Okay. Now, of course, when you look at a window has a width and it has a height. Okay, and these dimensions are giving you these horizontal dimensions here, of course, are establishing the different heights of the different types of windows. No, it's establishing the width, right, of the casement windows, okay? So we can see this casement window can start off at about 1 foot 1'5", that is, in width. And then it can increase up to 4'8" in width using 2 units, or 4 feet wide using 2 units, or 3'4" using 2 units. And then 211 or single units, right? From 211 down to 1'5" or single units. Okay, but here's the issue. This is the width of the models, okay? And of course, this is the height, okay? Right? So as we kind of start looking at the heights, they start off at about 1 foot in height, and then they go, then 2 feet, 2'4", 2'11", 3'4". And you know, this is the range that we need to be in, right? Because what we're specifying now is the window above the sink, and we know the head height is going to be 6'8", sill height is going to be 3'4". So the, kind of the maximum height of our window over the sink needs to be 3'4". Okay. But as we continue, you can get a 4 foot, 4 foot high window, 4'4". It continues. All right. Good. So now let's look at these dimensions more specifically. Okay. In terms of width, this first row of dimensions is the actual width of the window itself. Okay. A window has a frame, and then within that frame is a sash. Okay. What this window dimension is actually the actual width of the window from frame to frame. Okay. But then now that window has to be installed in a rough framed wall. Okay. Rough frame wall, studs. Okay. So they provide window openings in the rough framing, okay, to receive the window. Now, typically the rough opening is larger than the actual unit size of the window. That makes sense, right? Because that opening has to be large enough for them to insert that window and get it plumb or straight. Because if a window is not straight, it's not going to, particularly if it's functional, it's operational. If it's not plumb or straight, it's not going to operate properly. So the rough opening of a window is always larger than the actual window unit itself. So, and we see that here. So with this 1'5" width, that's the actual width of the unit, but the rough opening that the carpenter is going to provide and the rough framed wall is going to be 1 foot 5.5 inches. Okay. So as we continue, we see unit dimension, rough opening, unit dimension, rough opening, unit dimension, rough opening. Okay, good. The same thing applies to the height. Okay. This first dimension here is the actual height of the unit itself from frame to frame. And then the second dimension right here, that's the rough opening. Okay, so we see how the rough opening is larger than the unit itself. Okay, and that continues downward for the height of these windows. Okay, all right. So now we're going to use that information to help us out. Okay, so now my first decision is that I need to decide how wide the window is going to be above the sink. Okay, I know that my sink base unit, okay, is 3 feet wide. Okay? And I don't necessarily have to make the width of my window the same width of the as the sink base cabinet. Some people like to do that for some reason, but that's not necessary. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make my window width, I'm going to make it 4 feet. Okay, so I'm going to record that because if I had double screens, okay. So my unit width is going to be 4 feet, okay? But my rough opening width is going to be 4 feet, 0.5 inches, okay? So that's my width. All righty. And then I'm also going to choose my height now. So I know that I can't go this window can't be any taller than 3'4". So I'm going to max it out here at 3'4". Okay, so 3'4" is going to be my height. Okay, let me just write that down. Okay, so my unit height is going to be 3'4", slightly over, and 13/16. Okay. Okay, but my rough opening, which let me point to, okay, this is here we go. Yep, this is my unit height, okay? But my rough opening is, height is 3'5", and what is that, 3/8, okay? So this is my unit. This is my rough opening, because I'm gonna need that information for my schedule. All right, for my window schedule. So now when I come over here, when I see if I can just minimize this a little bit. There we go. All right. So now my width is 4 feet, and my height is 3'4". So what is 2 meet? Okay, here's my 3'4" coming over my height, and it's meeting my 4 feet right here. So that I'm going to record that manufacturer's number. So I'm going to be using a manufacturer's number that's C235 right here. Right, so it's going to be a double unit, right, above my sink. I think it's going to be kind of cool. All right. So again, this is my width, and where my width meets my height, that's the manufacturer's number. All right. So now I have that information. Now I can go to my window schedule. Okay, so now I have the information that I need. So I have my window schedule here. Okay, good. But I want to share this with you first. On a floor plan, windows and doors are marked or identified differently. Okay, now this is a typical symbol used to mark a window. Okay, and of course this mark is going to be relative to the mark here in the window schedule. All right. So, but windows are marked alphabetically. So I'm going to say that this is the window above my sink right here, right? Good. So I'm going to make that A. Good. Doors are marked, and typically the window mark is on the outside of the exterior wall. Okay. Doors are marked numerically. Okay. So this would be door 1. Now, if I have another window, let's say over here, right? I'm not going to place it there, but let's say I have another window there, and that window is the same size and the same type as this window here, it would receive the same mark. So I would have an A here and an A here, because these two windows would be absolutely the same. Okay, I do not give each window a different mark. If the window is the same in every way, design, dimension, as another window, they get the same mark. The same thing goes for the doors. Okay? So now, all right. So now, this is my window above my sink. That's A. So now I can come over here to my window schedule, and I can mark this as A. Okay, window A. Now my type is going to be casement, right? So, well, I'm just going to abbreviate it. Casement. Okay. Now, we just looked at the sizing chart, and it gave us 2 dimensions. It gave us the unit size, okay, and then the rough opening size in terms of width and height. Right. So I can use that information that I wrote down, because I don't have dual screens. So, okay, so let's start. Let's start with the unit width. The unit width for that window was actually 4 feet. Good. The unit height was 3 feet. 4 and 13/16. Okay. Now, the rough opening width was 4 foot, 0.5 inches. Okay. And then the rough opening height was 3'5". And 3/8 of an inch. And the manufacturer number where the width met the height was C235. All right. So, and I don't have any remarks. If it was something special about this window, I could give it. I could have some remarks here. All right. So that's how you're going to start the window schedule. So your next window, you have other windows besides the window, but the same. If it's different, if it's a different size or height or type, or a different size that is, I would probably try to keep my types kind of pure, right? If I'm using casement, I'll use casements, or but we'll talk about that a little later. But so my next window would be a B if it was different, and then a C if it was different, and so forth and so on. Okay, all right. So that shows you how you're going to start to fill out the window schedule.